turns out for me, plants are kind of hard. Hey fish friends, how's it going? Zenzo with Tazawa Tanks. Hope everyone's doing well. Hope you're having a great day. I thought I would just kind of film a short little video and provide an update on what's going on with my 65-gallon planted tank. So if you've been following my channel, you know that this was a cichlid tank, and a long time ago it was a planted tank, but back then it was a dirted planted tank, a dirt substrate with a cap of sand. So kind of low tech, where this time I'm trying to do a little bit more of a medium to high tech tank with a carpet of plants on the bottom and CO2 and things like that. So I placed a large order of plants from aquariumco.com, and I shared with you those plants in my previous video. And as far as lighting, I've got some different LED lights on here. And the main one is this the Fluval plant light that I got from Aquarium Co-op. And then I've got a couple other LEDs on there as well. What I've noticed is, you know, the tank is new. It's only been up and running for about 3 or 4 weeks now. And I'm having some challenges in the balance between algae and plants. And right now, algae is kind of winning. You can probably tell by looking at the tank that there's some algae growing on some different surfaces. Obviously, the rocks have some green on them. And even the S. repens down below are kind of having a hard time because of the algae. Now, I did have some melting that took place. I placed a second order with aquariumco.com, ordered some more S. repens and planted those in between. I'm still getting some melting. I do have some ferts, but I don't think that the plants have been able to catch up and kind of establish themselves yet as far as the battle between the plants and algae. So right now I'm just kind of adjusting the light to see if maybe a little bit less duration of light might help. I did cut about 1.5 hours worth of light on the timer, so that might help. And that 1.5 hours that I cut was kind of that that lower light phase where the light is kind of ramping up or going back down for the sunrise or the sunset settings that you can do on the lights. So hopefully that works. As far as CO2, I'm kind of doing the DIY, not like you know, adding chemicals into a container and creating gas, but actually just taking CO2 from a canister and putting it in a container in the tank. So what I have here is I've got an upside down flower vase that is trapping the CO2. And in this situation, what I'm doing is I'm just taking this little CO2 canister here. This is just one of those little disposable cartridges, and I will stick the tube into the vase, open the knob, and bubbles come out obviously, and then I can then fill this. And what happens is over a period of a day, the CO2 gets absorbed and dissolved into the water column, which the plants can use. The problem with that is I can't regulate it. I've got to refill it all the time. It only lasts about 1.5 days I found in this tank. So that is not going to work for me long term. It's kind of okay just as far as experimenting, and I might take this downstairs and mess around with some of the tanks in the fish room and maybe do a couple down there like that. So what I've done is I've gone ahead and bought a full-size CO2 tank. These things are pretty heavy too. I could get a kind of a workout here, a little pump. But anyway, I got a CO2 tank from the gas company here in town, and I went online and ordered a regulator. I've got that CO2 kind of CO2 level thing that you put in your tank to ensure that you've got the right CO2 levels. I bought, what else did I get? I bought the whole kit, you know, the tubing, the regulator, the diffuser, etc. So anyway, that should be coming in the near future, so I'll be setting that up. But in the meantime, I'm just having to manually add CO2. So anyway, not a whole lot that's great going on in this tank except for that Apontigeton plant that I have, and I've had that for a while. So that one's doing great, as you can see, and the Java fern in the back is doing well. But the swords and the S. repens, not so great. So we'll see. We'll keep an eye on it. As far as inhabitants, I don't really have anything in here other than snails, and I might put some autosynclus in there soon, but I really want to just focus on the plants to get them going. So as I said, you know, for me it's not so easy. I've got tons of tanks, but I don't have a lot of experience as far as high-tech planet tanks are concerned, so I'm kind of learning along the way. I've had planet tanks in the past, but they were kind of low-tech and medium-tech, so this is kind of my first go around into doing something a little bit fancier with CO2 and everything. So I'd love to get your feedback and your thoughts on maybe things that I can do that might you know, help this process along as far as lighting is concerned. You know, one of the things that I'm concerned about is, do I have enough lighting? So I do have the Fluval plant light here, and then I forgot the brand, but I've got this other LED light, which is pretty bright, and then I've got another small one in the back that's not so great. It's kind of more for just the background plants. But I'm wondering if I might need to order another Fluval light and have two of the Fluvals and just use this on another tank, because this is a 2-foot tank. It's pretty deep. So I don't have a par meter, so I don't know what the par level is down below, but maybe it's not enough light, and maybe I need to go dual on the Fluval light. So anyway, if you've got any ideas on that, any thoughts, experience with planet tanks, I'd love to hear your thoughts and feedback down below in the comments. And in talking about lights, this video is coming out in a couple days, so there's still several days left in the aquariumcoop.com giveaway, and the contest this month is for lights. So if you enter that contest, then you will be entered in the drawing to win some pretty cool prizes, which are some light packages. So one of the ways to win is to subscribe to my channel and some other channels that are listed on their site. So I'll put the link down below, so check them out and follow along, and hopefully you'll win some lights, and maybe I'll have to make sure I have enough entries, because maybe I can win a light too. So anyway, that's all I have for now. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you on the next one.